How frequently do you consider your body as one single motor unit? Now it's true, you have two engines, shoulders and hips, and it's true that arms can move independently of each other, legs can move independently of each other, the head can move every which way. But how frequently do you think of it as one single unit? You know, as I was doing some studying, I was reading a story about a baseball player who had to have shoulder surgery. Not uncommon in the sport of baseball for a pitcher to have shoulder surgery. Turned out the root of his problem was his big toe. You see, his big toe, if you know anything about baseball, they lunge through the pitch. It's a full body movement. It's not just an arm movement. And through the motion of the lunge, his big toe was preventing him from entering the lunge at full depth, at full rotation, which was leaving his hips turned, which didn't allow his shoulders to fully turn and square up, which meant that his arm was literally throwing all that force across his body more than it should have been, when really in a throw I should be leading with that shoulder. But because he's here and he's torquing, he's throwing all of that force into the shoulder because of his toe. Now I tell you, I've been there. I've had busted toes. I'm pretty proud that I haven't had too many broken bones, but I have busted toes kicking tables, you know, by missing where I was stepping, you know, not a purposeful martial arts kick. One time I missed a kick in sparring, or rather the guy evaded quite nicely, and I ended up kicking the knife throwing target, which was a 8-foot construction of 2x4s. Busted my foot on that one. And I tell you, when you have a busted foot, it throws everything off. You start stepping differently, you start noticing pressure in your knee. You notice pressure in your knee, you correct in the hip. Your hip starts feeling funny, you overcorrect in your spine. Next thing you know, you have this whole chain out of alignment. So I want you to understand that, on the one side, seriously, be good to your feet. Be really, really good to your feet. Your feet should look like ape feet, just without the big toe being opposable. And they should be nice and spread and grippy and all that. But on the other side, you got to understand that your whole body is one mechanism, and you have to be able to move the whole thing in the way it's supposed to move to line something up. So never think that when you're throwing a punch, you're just throwing a punch. You're literally punching people with your connection to the earth. And that being the case, if you don't have every piece in that chain correct, you are severely increasing risk of injury. Same thing with kicking, same thing with throwing, same thing with every joint lock, grappling mover, everything. You have a leverage point for your body, and you have a leverage point for your target. And so your connection to the ground or whatever surface you're on and your connection to your target, both from start to finish, origin to insertion, it needs to be in solid alignment. And if there's anything that training martial arts does, because we've seen over and over and over again, untrained fighters have a puncher's chance. Untrained fighters sometimes do better in high stress situations because they don't have any skills to fail. But the edge of martial arts is that if you train things well, then you are learning how to look for the angles, you're learning how to deal with the angles in a way that you can effectively ward off damage and issue power from a structural standpoint. And that's really the biggest benefit of martial arts physically. It's just giving you kinesthetic awareness, structural integrity. That's all I got for you. I will talk to you guys next time. Good journey.